Imagine waking up to see Bitcoin on the verge of a new all-time high. The world's most popular cryptocurrency is surging close to record levels, and it's not by accident. In this very moment, global Bitcoin prices are skyrocketing, nearly matching their highest price ever. Why is Bitcoin going up so fast? A perfect storm of economic twists, from expected interest rate cut moves by the Federal Reserve to easing U.S.-China trade tensions, has ignited a new Bitcoin bull run. This Bitcoin rally has everyone talking. One Bitcoin is trading near its record high in USD terms, and market excitement is through the roof. Young investors are scrambling for live Bitcoin price updates and scanning every Bitcoin price chart for opportunities. Is it too late to jump in? Or is this just the beginning of Bitcoin's next big chapter? Strap in, because today we'll break down why Bitcoin is on fire, how high it might go, and what it means for you. So why is Bitcoin going up right now? The answer starts with global economics. Investors are betting on a U.S. interest rate cut soon, which is huge for Bitcoin. When the Federal Reserve hints at lowering interest rates, traditional savings become less attractive, and risky assets like Bitcoin often get a boost. In fact, as inflation cools and the Fed turns dovish, many see Bitcoin as an inflation hedge against a weaker dollar. It's the classic Bitcoin versus dollar story. If dollars earn less and lose value, Bitcoin's value proposition as a scarce asset shines. This time, there's another twist: easing trade tensions. The US and China struck a surprise trade deal, slashing tariffs on goods from over 100% down to 30%. Almost overnight, markets breathed a sigh of relief. That peace news triggered a surge in Bitcoin's price, sending it past $105,000 in a flash of volatility. Why? Because a calmer global trade scene means less economic risk and possibly lower inflation, which again fuels those Fed rate cut expectations. In short, optimistic macro signals, a friendlier Fed and a cooling trade war, has created a bullish safe haven narrative for Bitcoin. Let's talk numbers. Bitcoin's price today is hovering near its record high, around the mid-five figures and climbing. In fact, it recently touched roughly $109,760, eclipsing its previous peak from earlier in the year. We're essentially at Bitcoin's highest price ever in history. Think about that. All the price history. The 2017 surge to $20,000, the 2021 rally to $69,000. All of it is being left in the dust by this 2025 run. On live exchanges, the Bitcoin price USD has been ticking up so fast that Bitcoin price analysis experts are drawing new lines on their charts daily. Technical analysis shows breakout patterns as Bitcoin barrels toward the psychological milestones. $100K is now in the rearview mirror, and traders are eyeing $110,000 and beyond. The market cap of Bitcoin is nearing a staggering $2 trillion, an almost unimaginable figure, putting Bitcoin's worth on par with the GDP of some large countries. Of course, this ride hasn't been without volatility. Intraday swings of 5 to 10% still happen, but overall momentum is strong. Year-to-date, Bitcoin is up dramatically, including a 50% surge from its April lows. It's outpacing even the stock market. For example, as Bitcoin soared, the tech-heavy Nasdaq index jumped about 30% from its lows, and a weakening dollar has further boosted Bitcoin's strength in USD terms. Why 2025? Crypto veterans will tell you about Bitcoin's 4-year cycle. In simple terms, Bitcoin has a built-in rhythm. Roughly every 4 years, the network undergoes a halving. In April 2024, the Bitcoin Halving 2024 event did happen, cutting the new supply of Bitcoins in half. EMS2, EPEDIA.com, miners block rewards, dropped from 6.25 BTC to 3.125 BTC. This halving impact can't be overstated by drastically slowing the issuance of new coins. Bitcoin often becomes more scarce just as demand kicks up. Historically, these post-halving years 2013, 2017, 2021 have seen massive bull markets, and 2025 is living up to that pattern as the Bitcoin bull market 2025 unfolds. Many believe this cycle could be extra powerful, a potential supercycle where Bitcoin's growth outpaces prior norms. The idea Is that with increased mainstream adoption? Now more on that soon. The usual boom could be even bigger. The halving didn't immediately send prices to the moon on the exact day, but it lit a long fuse. Now, about a year later, that fuse is igniting a crypto rocket. This is the billion-dollar, or rather a trillion-dollar question: how high can Bitcoin go? Ask 10 different analysts, you'll get 10 different price predictions, but almost all are bullish. Let's run through some headline-making Bitcoin price predictions for 2025 and beyond. One veteran hedge fund manager, Mark Yusko, boldly predicts Bitcoin will hit $150,000 by 2025. Thanks to the combined boost of the halving and new institutional money, we'll get to that in the next segment. Other crypto analysts aren't shy about bigger numbers, $200,000 or even $250,000. Bitcoin forecasts have been floated as upper-end targets for this cycle. In fact, some market strategists see Bitcoin's price peak for this bull run somewhere in the six figures. They set price targets that would have sounded like pure hype a few years ago. And looking further out, the figures only grow. Bitcoin $1 million is no longer a fantasy in some futuristic predictions. Influential investors like Cathie Wood's ARK Invest have released Bitcoin price forecasts for 2030 in the $500,000 to $1 million plus range, with an extreme bull case as high as $2.4 million. In other words, by 2030, they think Bitcoin could potentially trade in seven figures, which would mean a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. Of course, these are speculative scenarios. Nobody knows for sure what Bitcoin will be worth in 2025 or 2030, but the trend is clear. Every cycle, the optimistic price predictions get bolder, and more serious people are making them. Whether Bitcoin ends 2025 at $120,000, $200,000, or higher. One thing is certain: the very fact we're discussing these numbers shows how far Bitcoin has come. One major reason these lofty targets don't seem so crazy: institutions are buying Bitcoin like never before. We're witnessing Bitcoin's institutional adoption on a grand scale. Remember when Bitcoin was dismissed as magic internet money? Now it's being embraced as digital gold by some of the world's largest financial players. A big breakthrough came with US Bitcoin ETF approval in early 2024. The SEC gave a green light to multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs, and suddenly Wall Street had a familiar, regulated vehicle to pour money into crypto. Giants like BlackRock, Fidelity, and others launched their own Bitcoin ETFs. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, for example, saw hundreds of millions of dollars flow in within weeks, contributing to Bitcoin's climb. In fact, since launch, over $40 billion has flowed into Bitcoin ETFs globally, a sign of huge pent-up demand. This wave of institutional adoption provides a strong tailwind. As one crypto executive noted, Bitcoin now has tailwinds in the form of institutional momentum and a favorable U.S. regulatory environment. Even former skeptics are coming around. Case in point, J.P. Morgan's CEO Jamie Dimon, long a Bitcoin critic, recently allowed his bank's clients to invest in Bitcoin and consider us leadership, reports show President Trump. A known crypto skeptic in the past even had his social media company filing for a Bitcoin ETF of its own. A stark sign of how mainstream Bitcoin's become. Meanwhile, crypto regulation in the U.S. is slowly clarifying, with lawmakers and regulators proposing clearer rules instead of outright bans. This has eased a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, and attracted more big investors. With institutions on board, Bitcoin is being compared to traditional assets. Bitcoin versus gold. Many now call it millennial gold and Bitcoin. vs stock market, it's increasingly seen as a high-growth asset akin to tech stocks. Even Bitcoin versus Ethereum dynamics have shifted. Ethereum, the second-largest crypto, continues to innovate. But Bitcoin is cementing its role as the scarce, star-value asset institutions want first. The bottom line: Wall Street and big money have entered the chat, and that legitimacy and liquidity are propelling Bitcoin further into record territory. With Bitcoin back in the spotlight, a lot of people, especially young investors, are wondering, should I buy Bitcoin now? Is it too late to buy Bitcoin? These are super common questions in every bull run. God, the truth is, well, no one can time the market perfectly. There are smarter ways to approach investing in Bitcoin. Here are some strategies and considerations if you're thinking about how to invest in Bitcoin during this rally. First, do not let FOMO, fear of missing out, cloud your judgment. Yes, seeing Bitcoin rise day after day can trigger the urge to jump in with your life savings. Resist that. A safe way to invest in Bitcoin is to only use money you're prepared to tie up for a long time, or even lose in worst case. Bitcoin is still a volatile asset. Huge swings are normal, so plan accordingly. One popular method for beginners is dollar cost averaging, basically. Buying a fixed small amount on a regular schedule, say weekly or monthly, regardless of the price. This strategy smooths out your purchase price over time and takes the pressure off trying to buy the perfect dip. It's arguably the best time to buy Bitcoin all the time, by being consistent. You automatically buy more when prices are low and less when prices are high. Next, think about where to buy Bitcoin and how to buy Bitcoin securely. Stick to reputable exchanges or platforms. Enable two-factor authentication and consider moving your coins to a personal wallet for long-term holding. Holding Bitcoin for beginners can be intimidating, but there are many user-friendly apps and tutorials on how to invest and how to trade Bitcoin. If you do trade actively, have a plan. A Bitcoin trading strategy might include setting stop-loss orders and profit targets. And if you're more of a long-term believer, consider adopting the community mantra, HODL, hold on for dear life. Many successful investors simply buy Bitcoin consistently and hold it for years, ignoring short-term noise. That said, always periodically reassess your portfolio if Bitcoin's run-up has made it a huge part of your savings. It's wise to rebalance rather than risk too much. On the flip side, if you've made good profits and are asking, should I sell Bitcoin? Ensure you have a rationale. Maybe take out your initial investment and let the rest ride. Ultimately, the best way to buy Bitcoin and make money with Bitcoin is the way that fits your risk tolerance and financial goals. Educate yourself, stay safe, watch out for scams, and don't invest blindly on hype. Whether you decide to buy a lot, a little, or just watch from the sidelines, make sure it's an informed choice. Now, with all this excitement, it's easy to get caught up in the hype. Let's address the flip side, the risks and psychology of a crypto bull run. By this point, a lot of people are feeling the Bitcoin FOMO. Nobody wants to miss the next leg up. Social media is buzzing with hype, and the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, a popular sentiment gauge, has recently hit extreme greed levels. Historically, when crypto sentiment is that euphoric, it can be a warning sign that the market is overheated. You've seen it before. If everyone assumes price will only go up, who's left to buy? A healthy correction or pullback can happen when least expected. So yes, Bitcoin's volatility means we could see sharp dips even during this bull run. By the dip, Bitcoin is a common saying, but it takes courage and conviction to do so when a red candle appears. And remember, bull markets eventually give way to bear markets. Is this a Bitcoin bubble? Probably not in the long-term adoption sense. Many argue Bitcoin's value is fundamental, but in the short term, Bitcoin hype can outpace reality, leading to overheated prices that might temporarily deflate. We should acknowledge that Bitcoin crashes have happened after the 2017 peak. Bitcoin lost about 80% of its value by the end of 2018. A brutal crypto winter that shook out the excess. More recently, we saw a big drop in 2022 as well. Bitcoin crash again from these highs. It's likely there will be at least a significant correction at some point, even if not a multi-year crash. Bitcoin whales, those huge holders, can suddenly dump holdings, and leveraged trading can unwind quickly, causing rapid sell-offs. It's important not to panic during dips or get too greedy during peaks. Instead, keep a level head. You believe in Bitcoin's future, HODL, through the turbulence. If you're trading, always manage your risk. And for those tempted to chase the next altcoin season 2025, yes, when Bitcoin soars, sometimes altcoins, Ethereum, and others can surge even more. A phenomenon known as altcoin season, just be extra cautious. Many smaller coins are even more volatile and speculative. The key takeaway: Enjoy the ride, but don't lose sight of common sense. Crypto can make fortunes and also test your resolve with wild swings. By understanding both FOMO and the reality of bear markets, you'll be better prepared to navigate whatever comes next. This is it, the climax of our story. Picture the scene. Bitcoin's price ticking higher on exchanges around the world. Everyone holding their breath as it closes in on that legendary number, the all-time high 2025 mark. The chart is a thing. Suddenly it happens. Bitcoin hits a new high, blasting past the previous record high set months ago. History is made. In trading rooms and dorm rooms alike, cheers erupt. The Reddit forums and crypto Twitter go absolutely wild. Bitcoin highest price ever. #BTC100K posts flood in. For a generation of young investors, this moment is almost emotional. It's validation that their optimism was right. Flash the headline. Bitcoin breaks record. Market cap tops $2 trillion. The disbelief that some had at Bitcoin's rise has flipped to full-blown awe. This climax isn't just about a number on a screen. It represents a tipping point. Bitcoins. No longer a rebellious outsider, it's part of the financial main stage. Think about it. What started as an experiment on the internet is now a global asset reaching new heights. It's challenging the dollar and gold as a store of value in the eyes of millions. In this euphoric peak, the narrative of Bitcoin is digital. Gold 2.0 feels undeniably real. The Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory has delivered once again. And those who are show-dealed through the bear markets are feeling vindicated. This is the moment that documentaries will capture. The people will remember. The 2025 Bitcoin rally, when the world watched a decentralized network of believers push an idea to its peak price. And in doing so, perhaps set the stage for a new financial era. Bitcoin has nearly reached its all-time high, and even pushed beyond it. An achievement driven by global events, innovation, and the conviction of millions of believers. So where do we go from here? As we've seen, the journey is as volatile as it is exciting. Maybe Bitcoin keeps roaring upward to $150,000, $200,000 or more. Or maybe we'll see a pullback, and some cooling off the market will decide in time. But one thing's for sure, the crypto landscape has changed forever. Whether you're someone who bought Bitcoin at $500 or someone thinking to buy Bitcoin now, you are part of a story that's still being written. Remember, knowledge is power in this fast-moving space. So stay informed and stay safe as you navigate the crypto world. And speaking of staying informed, if you enjoyed this deep dive and want to ride along for the next chapter of this crypto adventure, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We cover everything from Bitcoin technical analysis to beginner guides on how to trade Bitcoin and beyond. Drop a comment. What's your Bitcoin price prediction for end of 2025? Do you see Bitcoin $250,000 on the horizon? Or are you more cautious? We'd love to hear your take. Also, let us know if you're Team HODL or Team Trade. How are you handling this rally? Finally, if you found value in this video, consider sharing it with a friend who needs to learn about this Bitcoin bull run. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Let's spread solid knowledge. Remember, we're all learning and experiencing this together, from the thrills of crypto bull runs to the lessons of the downtimes. So stick around, join the community, and let's see where this Bitcoin journey takes us next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep calm and HODL on.